We got 2 lanes in each direction separated by a dirt median. Lanes are roughly 12 feet, and the center median is dirt, maybe 40 feet across.
Tom Christensen is an accident reconstructionist. He has a master's degree in mechanical engineering from Stanford University. He's worked for Fortune 500 companies and the U.S. government as a mechanical engineer, and now specializes in collision analysis. As his car approached, Christensen says the big rig driver pulled onto the highway and across both lanes of traffic, hit the brakes, but had nowhere to go.
The westbound Dodge eventually encounters the big rig moving across the roadway. The driver is able to determine that there's a problem, there's a conflict. The driver perceives, reacts, and brakes and is able to slow the vehicle, but eventually impacts the trailer of the big rig, and the collision ensues.
A devastating impact. In a sudden crush of metal, the Dodge slid under the big rig, shearing off the roof. Christensen examined the skid marks, damage to the vehicles, and the physics of the crash. He says the car in which he was riding was going 66 miles per hour when the driver hit the brakes.
We know that the car is traveling towards the left side of the lane. We know that the driver saw something. We know that the driver perceived that there was an imminent problem. The tire marks tell us that she locked up the brakes. Tire marks also, because they are angular in nature, tell us that she was attempting to go to the left. So what they tell me is that the driver did see a problem arising. She did take evasive tactics. She attempted to go to the left, and she locked up the brakes. She has done pretty much everything she can do to avoid the collision.
The cause of the crash, he says, is clear. A U-turn by the driver of the big rig that was dangerous, illegal, and grossly negligent.
Experience as a commercial truck driver, why do you think that would be illegal to make a U-turn at that location? The space was such that I could do it without binding the truck. I was doing it to such a position that it couldn't be moved. You can't move it for that. You pass the apex and you turn it too tightly where the trailer will actually start moving in reverse. That was not the case in that position. So in my mind, when you were asking that U-turn, because it looked like it had been used by others and you had actually seen others using it, you thought it was legal to do so. Yes. Were you surprised to learn later that it was not legal to do so? Yes.
In my opinion, that it's evidence that Mr. was terribly inadequately untrained.
Paul Herbert is a truck safety expert. He has more than 3 decades of trucking experience. He's a member of the American and California Trucking Associations and a nationally recognized speaker on truck safety.
Terminal by terminal operation, choice as to what they do as far as training. It's might be best described as a hit and miss type of a situation where there's no central organization that has analyzed the best available training materials, the best available training topics to discuss, and curriculum.
Proper procedure with a blown tire would be to find a safe stopping place and wait for assistance.
He had found a good safe place to pull over. He had no need or purpose to move from that location other than just for his own convenience.
Herbert says he would regularly teach drivers from the California Commercial Driver's Handbook at a bare minimum for truck safety. The book is available free online from the DMV. Among other things, it warns drivers about crossing traffic.
Because of the nature of their vehicles, they're very long, they accelerate very slowly, they take a much larger space to cross or enter traffic. And it tells drivers that because of this, they need a much larger gap.
What happened on Route 152 wasn't just illegal or unsafe, breached the standard of care for truck safety in 3 ways.
One would be Mr. Terribly inadequate training. These safe vehicle operation concepts have not been adequately and thoroughly discussed with him and reinforced with him. Secondly, his actions on the day of the accident were very incredibly unsafe and illegal, as we've talked about before. And thirdly, a very important component of this accident is the company's blatant failure to communicate with him once they're aware of his situation. He's got a blown tire. He's intending to turn around and go back to Casa de Fruta. They should have taken the opportunity, as their responsibility for running a safe company would require them to communicate with the driver at that time and reinforce the importance of not attempting to make an unsafe U-turn.